Greetings traders, and thanks for joining with me today on this very brief video where I'm going to demonstrate to you the exact crystal clear setups for trading Boomerang Day Trader on crude oil. Now, we focus on crude oil for trading in our live Day Traders Action Room, and you can see the charts running there every day in the room if you want to join, and I'll do the training every day as well. But this is a brief encapsulated view of the training that I'll do on the exact Boomerang setups. Now, Boomerang Day Trader is relatively simple to use. Now, trading is not simple, but Boomerang Day Trader method for it is quite simple because visually it's quite obvious really when you have a trade setting up. But there are a few simple rules to learn, which I'll show you right now. Now, Boomerang Day Trader trades around the clock. So on crude oil, you can use it as that, but the regular hours for crude oil, we like to say quarter till the time it opens, which is 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. 9 o'clock they open them up. And I would say the active period during the regular hours are up till around 1:30 Eastern Standard Time is a pretty good time. You want to be out by then. Most of the action is going to occur in those earlier 2 to 3 hours. So just keep
Order
that in mind.
pending.
But here's an example right now. First of all, with Boomerang Day Trader, the only things you need, it's a 4-step confirmation process. And it focuses mainly on number one, the trade channel. You see a sell trade channel here. See how you got all the red candles and you got the red shaded area, and then you have the buy channel. You have the green candles and the green shaded area. We're using a standard 450 tick chart, and we're using candlesticks. Now on Boomerang, the way it works is quite unique. First of all, step one is you get a trade channel opening here, and there's the arrow that's alarmed. It'll let you know when a trade channel is opening up. The second confirmation that we use is after this closes and the arrow prints on the candle, we ask, are the price pressure bands open now? These are the price pressure bands right here. It's an indicator that I developed which tells you when there's pressure on the market to go in the direction. And of course they'll point in that direction too, but what an opening is when the dashed line crosses under in the case of a sell and over in the case of a buy on a buy channel. You see how they're opening them up here, spreading them open. They opened here, but then it's very sensitive indicator, moved here and then they reopened. But here they opened up here, signaling that the pressure was starting to come in on the sell side. They came up and matched and moved lower here. So this is very easy to learn how to use this indicator, and we have it available individually too. If you want to put on your charts, it'll shock you how well it'll give you understandings of trend moves that are occurring. But so we then watch for that, and we also watch for the dynamic trend bands, which are these two here. These are the key element for confirming a trade. You have the dynamic trend band number 2, or number 1, which is this thicker dashed dotted line, and number 2, which is a fast line here. So it's very easy to read these, but there are 3 conditions that must be present in order to take a trade, and I'll go over those with you right now. First of all, we're looking for a buy channel, so that's step 1, or sell channel. This is sell channel. So we look for a sell channel to open with the arrow alarming the candle, and then the candle closes and locks the arrow on there. That gives you the question to ask. Step number 2, are the price pressure bands open? Well, as of this second candle, yes they are. You can see them, they've already crossed under here, now they're just matching, so they're already opened here. The next question we ask is the cross under in the case of a sell channel and a cross over in the case of a buy channel, have they crossed over? Are they matching color? You see the trend bands matching color here. Or is the crossover imminent within 2 ticks is the limit on crude oil. For crude oil, it's very specific, 2 ticks. See where I put my cursor up there, and you see 63, you see 63, and if I push it up to number 1 here, or dynamic trend band number 1, you see 65. So that's 2 ticks. That's what a 2-tick spread looks like. Now you can just eyeball it and everything, but we're very specific that it's 2 ticks or less, and then you need the dynamic trend band number 1. That's this band right here. Number 2 is the solid one. I made a mistake earlier. Number 2 is the solid one. Number 1 is the thin dashed line. And once that's matching, it has to match the same color, number 1 does, and be within 2-tick spread and or having crossed over. Then you have the authority from the system to go short on a pullback to the signal line. Now this is the thin line here, that's the signal line, and the pullbacks are matched within 6 candles after the trade channels. Very simple. So right here you can see they've already crossed under. The trade channel's open, price pressure bands are open. All you do is trade a pullback to the signal line at 51. There, I just use the last 2 digits because we're just trading for 10 ticks. We're looking for 10 ticks, and I like to often say 8 to 10 ticks because sometimes they'll run down and tap 8 ticks. They'll bounce a little, come and tap it again. Usually when that happens, they're going to blow through it and give you the 10 ticks, but generally it's better to just click and get out. 8 to 10 ticks, it's virtually the same. But 75% of the time you're going to get a 10-tick move, and usually with a very quick blast, such as this entry here at 51, blasted right down to 39. So you easily got 10 ticks in there, probably within 1 to 2 minutes. So those are the conditions for setting up a trade. So now I'm going to show you another trade that's set up here, and it's called a modification rule. Now this works on the sell side and the buy side the same, but what happened here, you can see here we got a buy channel, just a regular kind of move on crude oil. We got a buy channel opening up, and we got the pullbacks to the signal line coming in, but you can definitely see that in no way is this a trade setup, because why? That's right, the price pressure bands are open, that's for sure, but the dynamic trend bands have not come within 2 ticks of crossing over or matched color or have made the crossover. Those are the 3 conditions: within 2 ticks of crossing over, having crossed over, or matching color. 1 or 2 or all of those let you have permission to trade the signal on Boomerang. It's very mechanical type of system. The system permissions you what to do. It's not done by your own thoughts or your own imagination. It's all done very strictly by the rules. Well, what happened here? This is one of the other types of trade setups other than the regular momentum blasts, is what I call them. And boy, you can see how fast they pan out. Usually that's the condition. They'll pan out very quickly when you line up everything correctly. Well, what happened here, and this is a case that I use the modification rule where the dynamic trend bands have not met one of those conditions yet, and all the pullbacks to the signal line are used up. You see 6 candles from the entry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All the pullback signal line have been used up, and we still don't have the dynamic trend bands confirming them. The way the rule works is when you get that confirmation, in other words, the 2-tick spread before the crossover occurring, or the matching dynamic trend bands, if that occurs, then you can trade a pullback to this dotted dash line here, which is called the Cobra. It's part of Boomerang. I'm just mentioning that now. We use that as a default pullback level if you have a modification rule, which is occurring right here with the 2-tick spread or less coming in. You buy a pullback to the Cobra here at 41, and 41 shoots up to 50. It pulls back, a little bit of herky-jerk whipsaw here, comes up 41, jams right up to 50, misses the 10 ticks by tick, pulls back really quick, and then it shoots up and gives you the 10 ticks. That's known as the modification rule. Now what this did also, though, you have to look at the chart from the trade channel and see that this was a level 1 move higher, correct? It's a level 1 move. So I'm going to show you now the third type of trade, and this is the only 3 types there are. So simple to learn. Trading's not simple or easy, but learning the boomerang method is easy. Once you learn that method, you'll find that your trading on crude oil will become very easy as well, or substantially easier than just guessing at trades as you may have already been doing, or using a few different indicators or something. Very precision system. The way a second level trade works is you have a level 1 trade, and there's enough force. You have to have the crossover, and generally you're going to have matching dynamic trend bands. It's going to be an extended move, and then you're going to have enough force to reverse that upside move, in this case, to the downside, enough force to create a counter sell channel arrow, in this case, on the boomerang indicators. The algorithms are very sensitive, so we actually use that sell channel arrow. Now, this is not a sell trade or anything, but we need the force of that move to create a sell channel arrow on the candle and lock it down. Means the next candle comes in, and that's done by using a tick meter here, which will count off the ticks as they wind down, and you'll see the next candle. So you know exactly when a new candle is going to be formed. When this winds down to 0, then it forms a new candle. So here you have the counter arrow here. Now the rule is, when that happens, if you immediately then get another arrow back into the trend, a buy channel arrow, which is shown right here, it's a little bit covered up by this pullback to the sig line, because once in a while, simultaneously, an arrow will form, and a millisecond after that, a pullback sig line will be marked by boomerang. But in this case, you wait for the arrow to close, and you take the next immediate pullback to the sig line, which is right here at $51.62 a barrel, and 62 shoots straight up to 65. See that? Or I'm sorry, 53. 53 is the price. 51, 53, and 53 shoots straight up to 65. So right in those two candles, you got your 10 ticks again. You see that? I hope that's clear to you. That's the only other rule, or the other trade, is you have this straight momentum blast with all the rules I just described to you. And those are going to be available on a PDF. All you have to do is, you join our trading room, and I can send you a copy of the PDF. There's a straight blast, straight momentum blast trades, which are the most common ones. You have the modification rule. If the straight blast doesn't set up, you get the pullback to the Cobra when the dynamic trend band conditions are met, because that's going to usually, I would say 80% plus of the cases, make those prices move higher. And then you have the second level trade, which I just demonstrated to you here. So those are the only three, and they all just kind of wonderfully fell into this same area here, so I could demonstrate it fairly easy and you could get a visual lock on. Now, seeing as how we just demonstrated that, let's go right back, because here's the market handing us again a sell channel. You can see what happens, because I'm using a still chart obviously, but once you follow the rules, whether the market is in a live action or the still chart, it's the same. You'll see. And we've been trading this live in our Day Traders Action Room for quite some time, year and a half, with steady 90% winning trade signals every day. It's astounding. Never been seen before in the trading industry, so quite a good opportunity. Okay, here's a sell channel opening up with the arrow, locks on the candle, the ticks count down to 0, a new candle is formed, and then we do it by a question answer process. Have the price pressure bands open? In this case, cross under on the dash line to the downside, yes. And question number 2, what is the condition of the dynamic trend bands? Has one of the three conditions occurred to initiate a trade, namely the spread of the crossover, the number DTB number 1 has to be the matching color of the trade channel. In other words, this reddish magenta color. That's satisfied. But now, where's the crossover? We put the cursor up there at 63 and bring it up here, and we see it's 64. There's only one tick spread here. Therefore, one tick spread from 63 Even right on this very first pullback sig line, the spread is only 1 tick. So you go short here at the market at 58. It jumps up a little against us, no big deal, because we're using the rim of the trade channel initially, and then the dynamic trend bands, or we're at the closest trend bands to use as a mental stop. We don't want to see it exceed that by much. And a hard 13-tick stop put on automatically with a bracket every time you make a trade. Get that 13-tick stop on there automatically, and you can set a 10-tick limit also on the brackets if you want, but just keep in mind the 10 ticks is to be measured from the exact entry from the dot on the signal line. Anyway, if you come and join our room, I demonstrate this every day in the markets live and with the regular charts. So you can see it every day. You get a lot of training for very low cost, because Boomerang crude oil makes an average of, on the low end, about 4 to 5 trades a day, and the high end I've seen them go up to 11, 12 recently, sometimes more, but 5 to 12 trades, that's $500 to $1,200 per contract minus the commission. That's a good career, especially when you consider adding 2 contracts, doing 2 contracts alone. But you start getting up higher into the contracts, and you're talking a really serious career there of some good money. So here's your short right here. This is a sell trade now. And at 58 and down they come right here to 51. They jump back up. That's welcome to the wonderful world of trading. They don't always just go straight down, but then 58, and here's 47, 46 down here at this low. They plow right through here and give you that 10 ticks. So just within this short period here, you have 1 winning trade, modification trade, 2 winning trades, the setup for a possible second level trade, which then occurs as the new buy arrow opens up, third level,
Order
3 winning trades, and 4 winning trades. So just within this short period here, which is about it's about an hour and 30 minutes, you had 5 winning trades. Do you see that? 1, 2, 3, 4 winning trades. And guess what? I just happened to notice this. I said 5, it was actually 4, but look, here's your 5th one. You got level 1 downside move. This is classic second level trade. Look, it's classic right out of the textbook, what I just taught you. Counter move that forces, a counter arrow, a buy channel arrow. It's not in any way a buy trade. Don't even think that. It's just a measure we can use to get correctly in a sell trade on a second level, if it's going to happen. Now, if these keep jamming up here, then we'll apply the other rule for a possible momentum blast in the upside. But as long as they come back in and hand us another sell arrow, we're in a second level trade. And what is the rule that I just told you for second level trades? That's right. As soon as the candle closes, you take the immediate pullback to the sig line, which is this yellow dot right here at 51, 53, 52, and 52 collapses right here down to 38. That's the 5th winning trade in a row there that we were talking about. So again, if you want to get a copy of the PDF, which verbally shows what I just demonstrated on this tape, it kind of goes along with the tape, but you have to join our trading room, and then I can send it to you. And it gives the basic rules for Boomerang. There's only 3 of them, and we'll go over those daily in the live trading room. Just sign up and join with us. You can sign up if you're brand new for only $39, and you're talking about starting a career with crude oil, getting trained for free, getting trained how to use the system without having to buy Boomerang, and then later you can buy it and you're on your own for a lifetime career of trading with crude oil. So thanks for joining with us today, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the action soon.